Jamie, we want to bring you in. Obviously, a very disappointing result for Ronald Koeman. And it brings a lot of questions about what this Barcelona is going to look like in the future. Many said that Lionel Messi would stay for a winning project, and it doesn't seem like this seems to be headed in that direction.
It doesn't look like a winning project at all. If you take a look at the last La Liga games this team has played, 5 points out of 15 possible points. Those are not good numbers. And what we've seen in the last games, especially those when Barcelona started winning and then the team they were facing did a comeback. When Granada happened with Levante, happened today, happened with Celta. It seems like on the second half, the team just drops physically, mentally, is a weak team. And this is what was happening at the end of last season. Exactly the same. Barcelona said goodbye to La Liga at their home, at the Camp Nou, after losing on that occasion against Osasuna 2-1. I saw an image of Leo Messi at the end of the game. As soon as the whistle was blown, he headed, the first player to do so, towards the dressing room. He didn't say anything to Ronald Koeman. He wanted to say goodbye to Coudet, Celta's manager. And a lot of questions appear right now in every single Barcelona fan's head. What will happen in the future? Was this the last game of Leo Messi at the Camp Nou? Was this the last game of Ronald Koeman at the Camp Nou as Barcelona manager? We do not have the answers today. What's obvious is that Barcelona has to show Leo Messi a new project. What seems obvious after listening to Ronald Koeman, after knowing what's happening inside there, is that important members of the club do not want Ronald Koeman to be the manager next season. We'll see what happens. Contacts with Xavi Hernandez have started.
And powerful images we just saw, Jamie, as you were speaking, of that exact moment when Lionel Messi exits the pitch. Not only does he not exchange words with Ronald Koeman, he doesn't even make eye contact. It is looking straight down. That's a powerful image that we just saw, Eric. Do you think that we may have seen Lionel Messi's last time suiting up for Barcelona in La Liga at the Camp Nou?
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to continue, but I'm inclined to believe that Ronald Koeman will no longer be there. And it's a bit of a shame. He's done some things wrong, but I just feel that this run that Jamie just mentioned at the tail end of the season has in some ways overshadowed all the things that Ronald Koeman did so well. Blooding youngsters. Let's not forget that Ansu Fati was lost at the very beginning of the season, and he started the campaign like a house on fire, right? Making Messi happy because Messi wasn't playing with a smile for the first half of the season. All of a sudden, he's celebrating with his teammates. He just looks like a re-galvanized player. And I'm going to bring back something that Jamie said a few weeks ago when we were talking about Barcelona and whether it would be a disappointment if they didn't win La Liga, or a failure. I said a failure. Jamie said disappointment because he said there were no expectations. So I find it kind of funny, and this is not on Jamie, this is on those expectations, that a lot of people suggested that Koeman was just here to stabilize the ship, that they weren't really going to compete for anything. And now that he's just fallen short after winning a trophy, everybody's saying, well, maybe it's time for Ronald Koeman to go. I just think that it smacks of hypocrisy, and you know, it's just unfortunate for a guy who had a lot to deal with when he arrived.
And then the question becomes, what has changed? Because we did see a Barcelona in flying form between the months of January and April, and then over the past couple of weeks, they've hit a slump. Gary, this is Barcelona's lowest point tally since 2007-2008, when they also finished in third place. Also the highest tally with losses this season 7 now. Is it time for Ronald Koeman to walk away, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, I think he's done a fairly decent job so far. I mean, if Xavi's available, then you might say, okay, hang on a second, if we bring him in, he's worth having. But, you know, barring that, I would say no, keep him there. The biggest problem from my perspective is the lack of money for Barcelona. And Jamie's spoken about it before. But, you know, if you can't go and buy the best players, if all you're going to pick up is Depay because he's free and Garcia from Man City because he's free, and you can't attempt other top players, then you're relying on youngsters. And these youngsters have run out of a bit of steam at the end of the season. I just don't think the squad is big enough. And if you haven't got money to go and improve it, then it's going to be a tough season, whether it's Xavi or Koeman.
Jamie, the big question is, obviously, Barcelona are currently in third place, but Sevilla are very close behind. This could be a situation where Barcelona even dropped to fourth place on the final match day of the season. Is this a genuine concern amongst Barcelona fans?
To be honest, I think nobody cares if Barcelona ends up in the 3rd position or the 4th position. By the way, Barcelona were meant to play on Saturday in the end when La Liga changed that schedule of the game, and suddenly they have to play on Sunday too, because it means that Eibar, depending on the result, affects the 2 teams in the relegation battle. So Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern time will be the time when Barcelona will play. But I don't know what will happen with Ronald Koeman, to be honest. I don't agree with Eric that this decision depends on if Barcelona wins or doesn't win La Liga. It's very important in Barcelona not only winning, but how you achieve things, how you achieve results. And everybody remembers here that when the team was winning, Koeman was putting on the pitch 5 defenders. When the team was losing, Koeman was putting on the pitch 5 attackers. Meanwhile, in Europe, the managers just put midfielders on the pitch just to contain the ball, just to control the ball. This is one thing that every single important person at the club is thinking about when designing the future. And I perfectly remember when I interviewed Joan Laporta when he was a candidate for become Barcelona president. He told me it's not only about the results. It's the sensations, it's the style of play, and we have not seen that in Barcelona in the last games. We've seen it throughout the season. We saw it in that wonderful game against PSG in the Champions League, but we do not know if that was because the French side had a huge advantage 4-1 after what they did at the Camp Nou. We've seen that in some moments of the season, but it has been very difficult to see that in an entire game. Maybe the Copa del Rey final against Athletic Club Bilbao. So a lot of people here think it is not enough. Koeman has done a fantastic job giving joy again to the Barcelona fans, putting the youngsters on the pitch, making tough decisions, but now maybe is the time to really put faith on the style of Barcelona that they had a few years ago. This is what they say inside the club, not
Gabby,
me.
just
okay?
Just to add to that on what's so difficult for Koeman and what Jamie's saying is, how do you compare with the teams of the past? If you're a Barcelona fan from the last, say, 10 years or less, you're remembering Suarez and Neymar and Messi as your front 3, or even other front 3s of great players. I mean, it has been 10 years in which Barca have probably, and I don't think there's too many who would argue, the best soccer team over those 10 years in terms of quality. Now the quality is not there. Koeman or Xavi or whoever, without money, there's only a limited amount they can do, and young players is the future for them. So, yeah, it's going to be a case of the fans having to get used and to give the manager time to bring those young players through.